The classic rangefinder, small window, image overlap, and manual focus process are all associated with the Leica M. However, what if it is absent from the upcoming Leica M? We may be witnessing that pivotal moment today. It is being debated whether the Leica M1V is the first M to abandon the rangefinder in favor of an integrated electronic viewfinder. That's a big change. It might even make the camera more approachable and useful. However, it also runs the danger of disturbing Leica purists who believe the rangefinder is the system's lifeblood. Let's examine what this would include, what we currently know, and how this camera might fit into Leica's lineup. So, what does this mean for the design? Leica is said to be going with a purist look. Without that rangefinder window on the front, the face of the camera becomes cleaner, almost minimal. Some might say it's too clean, but that's a matter of taste. Leica is also introducing a diamond pattern leatherette finish, which gives a different tactile grip compared to the smoother coverings of the M11 or M11P. There's mention of a new FN button, as well as a dual-function frame selector lever tied to the viewfinder. That sounds like Leica is trying to replace some of the old rangefinder controls with digital equivalents, while still keeping that tactile approach photographers love about these cameras. It's a fine balance. And here's the interesting part. Dropping the mechanical rangefinder could make this one of the most affordable M cameras in years. Now, affordable in Leica terms still means premium. But if the cost of that complex optical system is removed, we might see something positioned closer to an entry-level M. Again, we don't know, but it fits the logic. When we move under the hood, things look familiar, but still compelling. We are expecting the same 60-megapixel full-frame BSI sensor from the standard M11. And as with that camera, it might carry the triple-resolution tech, giving you the option to shoot at 60, 36, or 18 megapixels depending on your workflow. That flexibility is underrated. Shooting at 18 megapixels for casual work or quick transfers saves space, while 60 megapixels is there when you need every ounce of detail. Pair that with the Maestro 3 processor, and you've got a platform that should feel fast and reliable. It's not chasing frame rates like a Sony A1 or Nikon Z9. This is about stills, about deliberate shooting. And if we're being honest, Leica cameras tend to attract photographers who are not worried about how many frames per second they can rattle off. One difference worth pointing out is storage. The M11P comes with 256 GB internal memory, but this M11V might ship with 64 GB. That's not tiny, but it's a conscious choice. It signals that Leica sees this camera as a more straightforward body. Still modern, but maybe with fewer luxuries. For some, that's fine. For others who travel without swapping cards, it may feel limiting. Now, let's really talk about that EVF. This is the heart of the debate. Traditionalists will say an M without a rangefinder isn't a true M. But consider what an EVF brings. You see exactly what the lens sees. Exposure, depth of field, white balance, all before you press the shutter. You also gain access to focus aids like peaking, magnification, and potentially even digital frame lines that could make shooting with longer lenses or fast apertures far easier than the split image method. Think about photographers with eyesight challenges. A rangefinder window can be tough to work with, but an EVF with diopter correction and magnification opens the door to more people. Yes, you lose that direct optical connection with the scene, but you gain a more accurate and versatile tool. We should also note Leica already offers the Vislux 2 accessory, which essentially turns an M11 into an EVF camera, but that piece costs nearly $1,000. It adds bulk, and it takes over your hot shoe. If the M11V integrates that functionality into the body, that's a practical move. So, where does this leave us? If Leica goes through with this, the M11V won't replace the M11 or the M11P. It would more likely sit beside them as an alternative. Think of it this way. The M11 remains for purists who want the true optical rangefinder. The M11P adds stealthy features like 256 GB memory and content authentication. And then the M11V could be the practical one with an EVF, lower storage. and possibly a friendlier price point. It's not the first time Leica has experimented either. The film Leica M series from the 60s had no viewfinder at all. The current M11D skips the rear screen entirely. Leica has never been afraid to strip something away if it makes sense for a certain audience, and maybe the M11V is in that tradition. So, what do we make of it? If you're a purist who treasures the tactile feel of aligning a rangefinder, this camera might not speak to you. But if you've always admired the Leica M system and felt held back by the rangefinder's quirks or its price, this might be your entry point. When it comes to price, the absence of that hand-assembled rangefinder could mean this ends up as one of the more approachable M bodies we've seen. That's what many of us are expecting. However, Leica has a habit of surprising us, and sometimes they put a premium tag even when logic points in another direction. Still, whatever number they decide on, this feels like an important step. Leica isn't walking away from the rangefinder legacy. They're adding another path alongside it. And if the M11V becomes real, it could welcome a new group of photographers into the M world. Those who still want the Leica feel, the classic design, and that red dot, but also prefer a more practical digital shooting experience. So, that's everything we have for now. We'd love to hear what you think about Leica's move, so drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more camera news and reviews.